Today we're going to start our Victorian house demo for the laying out of where our house is and how everything's going to fit in our paper. We are going to be making a picture that looks something like this. Okay, this one is obviously a horizontal format. Okay, my paper is horizontal, not vertical. And so this would be a horizontal format. And you can see that the house is, fairly in the center here. So I have trees on either side. So we're going to be making some decisions about where exactly you want your house, whether you want it higher up in the picture, lower down in the picture, to one side or the other side. Also, you could choose to have a vertical format. Here's one of my drawings that is in a vertical format. It's not horizontal, obviously, because it's standing up. It's taller than it is wide. So this is a vertical format. So you're going to get a nice piece of paper. Your piece of paper looks like this. Okay. It's, horizontal or vertical, depending on which way you want to do it. I also call it landscape is horizontal and vertical is portrait. You're going to do first things first. You're going to take a pencil and write your name on the back. Okay. And you're going to write your grade, whatever your grade is, 4 or 5 or whatever. And you're going to write your teacher. Let's say this is Mr. Barton's class. Of course, you should write a 4, right? So let me scribble that out and write a 4. Here we go, 4, Barton. Okay, then you're going to flip your paper over, and that's where you're going to start your drawing. Now, one thing about our drawing is when you're drawing with your pencil, draw very, very, very lightly, because a lot of these lines we make today we're going to erase. You can also use the magic rub erasers that I have up at the front of the room. They're softer, more rubbery erasers, and they erase really nicely, but still press very softly when you draw so that it's easy to erase. You're going to have 2 templates. One of your templates is going to say border on it, and that's going to kind of make our border so we know that we have enough room on the outside. So take your border template, hold it down, and make sure that the edges of your border template are parallel to the edges of your paper. Okay? You don't want it cockeyed like that. You want it to be nice and even, and you want it to be kind of evenly spaced on either side here, evenly spaced on the top and bottom so that it's right in the center. Then you're going to hold it down, and you might have to hold it down next to the edge so that your pencil doesn't, slide underneath the edge. And you want to hold it down and then trace very lightly with your pencil around the border so that we have a nice border here. Okay. Now, your border, we will end up going out of this border for a couple things, but we want to make sure we have a border so that we're all kind of talking the same language and we're all in the same place when it comes to where are we drawing things. So that's what your border should look like when you're done tracing your border. Then you've got a second template that says house. Okay? Now this is where some decisions are made, and you need to make artistic decisions. Not everybody's picture is going to look the same. Not everybody is going to have the same format. You need to make the decisions. I can show it to you, and then you have to decide, and you're going to decide on your own. I can't go around to everybody's paper and say, well, you do it like this, trace this line, trace that line. You got to do it on your own and make up some of your own decisions. So if you would like a house vertical, okay, so let's just take the house for a moment. If you want it to be vertical, it would be standing that way. If you want it to be horizontal, you would put it that way, right? So it's longer than it is tall. Now, everyone's got the same size house, but what we're going to be doing for our artistic decisions is where is the placement? Is it going to be, further over to the side this way, further over to the side that way, maybe a little higher up, maybe a little lower down? Maybe you want it to be a vertical format and you're going to have it sitting here, so you've got a lot of sky and less ground. We're all going to make different decisions as to where our house is and how our house is going to fall in to the picture. If I take this horizontal format one, you can see that my template line for my border would have went around like that. And you can kind of see I've got the little tips of the pinnacles sticking out there. And my house, I decided to make a horizontal house, and it would have fit right in there, inside of my border. So if I kind of slide my border back on here, and I do the example of the house, it was right like that. Very simple to do. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to take my house and I'm going to hold it horizontally. Actually, no, I'm going to hold it vertically. I'm going to make myself problems just for fun. See what happens. I'm going to hold my paper vertically. Actually, I'm going to do it horizontal. I changed my mind. I'm going to put my house horizontal so I have more sky and so that it fits in my projector better. And then I'm going to have my house be horizontal as well. Okay. Now I'm going to have mine down a little farther and over to the right hand side. You could have yours up a little higher and over to the left hand side or down here, or if you want it to be a vertical composition and you want your house to be horizontal, it might be like that. Or maybe you want your composition to be vertical and your house to be vertical and you want it to be high up or low down. You want it to be over to the right here or over to the left there. You're going to make your decision. What I would like you to do is try to keep it inside your border. Don't have it like way over up off the page, because we need some place to put our roofs on the top and our foundation on the bottom of our house, depending on where your house is going to be. So I'm going to have my horizontal house. I'm going to kind of have it over to this side. I'm going to have it down a little lower. Then I'm going to trace around that part of my little house template. Okay, so if I have and I'm going to make sure that it's parallel to the edges so that I don't run into a bunch of weird, crazy, cockeyed lines. Okay, so here's me tracing around the house template. Very easy and simple to do. Okay, so there's one version of me tracing around my house template. Okay, let's pretend that I just show you another example here on the back. And let's say I wanted my lines to be, wanted my house to be a vertical format. Here's my border. And of course this is the back of my paper. You're not supposed to have your name on there. I'm just, for the sake of example, showing you what a different example might look like. So let's say I did want my house to be vertical format. You can actually see inside my template there, and I wanted my house to be a vertical format, and I wanted it to be higher up because I want to have a little walkway coming up to the house here, and I want my vertical house to be like this. Then I would trace around my vertical house this way. Okay, so this being a vertical house sitting maybe up on a hill or something, and this being a horizontal house with it kind of sitting down off the side. Okay, so that's how you make your house with your two templates, your border template, your house template.